What is good? We're back. It's week. We just finished week 5.
Almost.
Wow, we're watching.
We're doing it live.
Watching a little Monday night.
We're doing it.
Raiders up on the Chiefs in Arrowhead, right? Is that
Yeah.
where we're at here?
For sure.
Little fourth down, go for it in the beginning of the game for a deep shot to Devontae. Really opened things up here. We got an OG tripod. We got old Big Co in the house. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. It's fun to see the season get going here. Most of your teams are disappointing. All that good stuff. Got a couple good ones. Got a bunch of bad ones. It's normal.
I can't figure it out.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more.
All right. So we got week 5 just about in the books. We're gonna go through, recap some games, talk about a whole bunch of different players, do a bunch of different exercises with them, and see who we like, who we don't like, buy, sell, hold, trade targets, rankings, just general recap of games, all that kind of good stuff, just like we do every Monday night. So on this one, we're gonna kick it over. We're gonna start with Giants Packers. Usually, maybe we don't talk about that London game, and this one kind of started off as maybe not a game that you wanted to talk about, and then all of a sudden it was like, damn, this is actually, I was pacing around the house early, and the games are good. I usually pace around.
Sure you do.
And
First half was kind of sleepy.
yeah.
First half was sleepy.
Had some coffee, some French toast, just hung out,
French toast.
slept through the first 20 minutes or so.
Of course.
Sunday's my sleep-in day.
Mhm.
And then the second half kicked off, and it was like, man, Daniel Jones starting to move around a little bit.
Got a game. Had to warm that ankle up.
Yeah. Got old, had to get David Sills and Richie James and a bunch of bums warmed up.
Had to dust off there. Slayton. Had to dust
Slayton, baby.
off.
Them boys, I don't know why, how has he not been getting the play? He looked pretty good out there.
2 or 3 years ago, that was our boy.
Oh, man.
He's still fucking good at football.
Still-
How about that?
Imagine that.
Still looked half decent. 36 of the snaps, 21 routes run, 7 targets. So he seemed to be a go-to for Daniel Jones. Seemed to be fairly comfortable with him. Obviously, we got no Sterling Shepard. We should get back.
Lil Tunchi?
No, well, yeah, we should get
Good
back.
God, that would be great.
We should get back Kadarius Toney, and a reason that you're maybe hanging on to him in a redraft, maybe, is because of this
Nah,
cast of goons
you
that are
moved on in
surrounding
redraft.
him.
Wide open pecking order.
Right.
Terrible. I'm a week late on saying sorry, Sterling.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard was getting the nod.
Yeah. It was like, oh, man, he's back. And
Yeah.
then just a huge bummer. Wandell should be back relatively soon. So if he's out there, maybe you get a week early pickup on your waiver wire this week. Maybe don't spend the actual waiver wire on if it's an actual.
Scoop him up the week before.
Don't use your claim.
Yeah.
Get rid of claims. Go to Fab.
That's why I was struggling with what it was called.
Like, what
Because I
do you
don't even
fucking
use
use
it
that?
anymore.
Do I claim him?
Yeah.
Or do I wait?
You don't use the claim, but maybe you can pick up Wandell after the claim, because it is wide open over there, and maybe maybe you want to throw Tony on the squad on like Friday and see if he gets in the lineup if you got an extra spot. Maybe,
Or on Yahoo, you can put him down in the O in the
Right,
Ir spot.
if you get an
if
O
he's
guy.
owed.
Yeah, so
Right.
could be worse. David Bellinger, has had some nice little usage throughout here, looking like maybe he could develop into something. It'd be really interesting to see where the Giants go with Daniel Jones next year. Like, is this?
So Fugazi 4-1, right? Although they did beat the Packers.
They did just beat the Packers, although the Packers wanted nothing to do with being in London in the first place. Not that they didn't want to win the game once they got in between the lines, but
It's like, we're too good to be in London.
they just didn't want anything to do with it. And they were upset they didn't get to go for the week, and they only went for like 2 days, so you didn't get to see anything, see the sights. Aaron Rodgers said he wanted to go drink a beer at the local pub. He was pissed. So the whole team was upset.
He's always
about it.
mad about something.
He's always mad about something. He's definitely hanging him up after this year.
I think he's got one more.
He's
this
so
year?
mad. He's so mad all the time. It almost starts. It's pretty much draining me at this point. His body language on the field. It's like every time a play goes bad, whether it's his play, I don't. If it's got something to do with him, or maybe he's upset with the play call, or somebody missed a block, or somebody didn't
fucking
catch
rookies.
if I didn't run the right route. It's like, there's always something. He's always just like upset about something, dude. If you're not having any fun at all, just go. Just go.
I think he's still having some fun. I think this is mainly his demeanor at this point of what
It's killing me.
He's definitely moved into 100% of get off my lawn guy.
What are you, 70? I mean, geez. draining me over here.
I don't think he wouldn't. He's not going to mind being 70. He likes to read books, and
It's true. And when you're retired, you can do anything you want anytime.
Yeah,
he's trying to be that already.
he's just going to do whatever.
So anyway, the Daniel Jones Giants
next year.
I mean, if you're just looking at win-loss, the Giants, their jaws hanging, right? They're like, are you serious? We only have one loss. We're 4-1. We're
what?
What? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
This
Yeah.
This could be one of those things where they're like, yeah, we did win, but we actually they're probably upset because they're like, hey man, we need to be in the quarterback sweepstakes over here. So it's good
Taking ourselves right out of this.
The new coach is going to tell you, look at me. All this winning, I bring it on. We'll deal with the quarterback later, but the GM in the back's got to be like, oh man, we need our draft pick is really going the wrong direction. But you can't be upset if you haven't won in so long, man. You can't be upset about the winning. It's better than getting your ass beat and be like, well, we're going to get a good quarterback, and then all of a sudden everybody's upset. Your coach ain't no good, because it's always is the star coordinator going to be the good coach? Vic Fangio, Dan Quinn, blah blah blah. They're not great coaches, but great coordinators. Good for the Giants, great for Daniel Jones, but he still doesn't feel like the long-term answer. But if you're 4-1,
it's 4-1. Dayball is just winning in different ways. He's got these guys playing really well
with receivers.
I read something somewhere that their cap is like third best coming into next season. So they're
most open cap.
So they're going to be wide open to be able to pick kind of whoever they want up here. And
they've got an expensive Kenny Golladay. He's not even on the field.
Right. So. Well, that's, he's doing what he's doing with the cast of characters that he has. And it's like, which probably isn't great for the rest of the coaches in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
But
you can't do any better than that.
We got a little Ryan Tannehill situation seemingly brewing here with Daniel Jones. No, don't we?
Sure.
Couldn't it be?
Why not?
Got the athletic running ability. Mm-hmm. He's not really surrounded by any talent. Saquon's playing really well, but other than that,
playing fantastic.
He's doing with what he can with who he has, and he was bringing Sterling Shepard back, who we had cut just right off some FFPC teams because I was like, Achilles injury at 29, see ya.
Zero value. All of a sudden he's back and playing.
Right, looking like a stud. So interesting to see what's going on there. Dayball's gonna he's doing with what he can with what he has, but he's gonna be able to kind of really mold this team into what he wants moving forward with that cap, I feel like, and obviously draft picks and all that other stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see where they move forward with and how well, like, if this is just about to be the Giants are just about to be a problem from here on out.
Well, and it wouldn't shock.
I'm sure it'll go a little up and down for the rest of the season.
If they lost 4 games in a row, would you be shocked? Exactly. Would you be as shocked as you are that they just won 4 out of 5?
I would be shocked if they dropped 4 in a row to me, because I just feel like they're just being coached and schemed, and he's got them believing, and the defense is pretty decent. I mean, it really is just reminiscent of these Titans. It's always some crooked number, some weird score, low scoring game. Got Saquon running the Wildcat now. They lost Daniel Jones last week, and they just were like, we'll just put Saquon back here.
Right.
We're all right. Got a couple of decent offensive linemen. We haven't really,
I know you probably don't want to stay on the Giants that long, but they played the Titans, who couldn't get out of their own way for a couple weeks, week 1. Then they beat the Panthers,
right?
Which ain't hard to do.
No,
just lost their coach. It's so easy to beat them.
Yeah.
Then they beat the Cowboys. No, they lost to the Cowboys
by 7.
Right, and then 6. So and then they beat the Bears.
The Bears
outside of the Panthers are the worst team in the league.
Almost beat the Vikings this week,
and
beat the Niners.
It's true.
I'm just Bears.
So
Fugazi for sure,
and beat the Packers in London. So I mean, 3 out of their 4 W's so far is against terrible. Like, Titans are coming around, but they started off horrible. But and so they just beat them. That's their game. Right. That's their hang your hat on game so far. They beat the Packers. Gamecocks just beat Kentucky, but the quarterback was out. So like that's the
first round
Levis. I mean, like
quarterback was out.
You hang your hat on that game because you went on the road and you won, but the quarterback was out. Like, Aaron Rodgers was in, he didn't get hurt, and you beat the Packers.
Yeah.
So the Giants are, obviously they're rolling.
We can't leave the Giants without talking about Saquon.
Yeah.
All right. He's the reason they're the catalyst into this thing.
He's the engine.
RB3 right now.
I don't have the
overall.
I got the Fantasy Pros pulled up PPR. He was one
They
RB1.
don't have, I don't think they have week 5 updated.
They don't.
So
he was week 1 going into week 5 here, and I don't know. He
my
didn't score a
fantasy
ton of
league
points
is like
this
the best place to find
you just fucking
fucking updated stats where you can actually get points per game too sorted.
You just like go to one of your leagues and
Yep.
sort through. You just got to figure out if you're going to go tight end premium or not, as far as
right,
standings. And
RB3 behind Eckler and Chubb. He is averaging 21.1 points a game, which is good for 4th. Just having a fantastic year right now. Where do you guys want to go with this discussion? Should we talk a little?
I mean, I guess
buy, sell, hold, dynasty trades. You want to rank them against some guys?
I don't know how much buy, sell,
feeling?
hold you can do with Saquon, because it's really like, if you're bad, I guess you could move off of Saquon if you're rebuilding, and if you're good, you hang on and ride the wave.
Obviously,
what's interesting maybe is how looking ahead to next year. Where do you think Saquon would be in your startup, or what running backs? Like, is he back to RB1, RB2 status, or is it just going to be a hair too old to be in front of JT? And I guess it seems like Brees will maybe be up there, and the Bijan will seemingly automatically just leap right into there.
Barkley would be too old to be in front of Jonathan Taylor for me,
or Brees.
Yeah, that too probably. With Brees coming on strong and
on keep trade cut, he's vaulted all the way up to RB2 ahead of Brees, behind JT.
Who?
Saquon.
Well, that's probably
wild.
That's more of a retrade. A redraft.
No,
mindset.
It's dynasty rankings.
Yeah, you get caught in the moment, bro.
Yeah,
you
for sure.
Put somebody. Sure. You're in week 5 right now. Saquon's crushing. Keep trade cut all you want to, but you get after the year and you get into startup.
Cut all you want to.
You look at a guy who's 22. You look at a guy who's 26. It's not.
Well,
even
and Brees is hadn't
picking up steam.
Right. Brees is going like this, whereas that crowdsourced data hasn't quite. Like by week, if Brees keeps going, or even if he doesn't, which it is,
it only,
and if Brees keeps, even if he doesn't, it's gonna eventually catch up, and Brees is gonna be just fine. I mean, we just saw what Brees can be, what Brees can do, and we've been seeing him get the usage get ramped up more and more every week. So probably safely behind Brees. Javonte coming off an injury,
tumbling,
but still a good. Saquon will be 26 coming into next year. Christian McCaffrey will be a year older than, I believe Christian's a year older than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously depending on what type of style you wanted to come in with, the 27-year-old Eckler and the 26-year-old Dalvin, for the most part, didn't tumble too far this year. So Saquon's,
right,
playing fantastic. So I mean, you got 26-year-old Saquon next year. I mean,
back end of the first round, are you taking Saquon?
Probably not.
Yeah, it seems
it's
but second round.
That's where you were taking him. That's where I was taking him this year, and he's
back into the first round.
Back into the second round.
Oh well, I get it. Well, I mean, you were probably
driving that ADP.
I don't think Saquon was in the second round of many dynasty startups this year.
Maybe not. Maybe third.
Especially like full point PPR, and you give a tight end premium, and it's like I don't think he was
certainly not
too many of the second rounds. Yeah,
for me.
It's certainly not super flex.
Middle of the second round, all day long for Saquon.
Yeah, we had that discussion, and here he is. He showed back up,
right back where he's been,
crushing.
So for me, end of the first round probably does get a little rich, and it's been harder and harder to really say let's get heavy and aggressive on the running backs. But I think right now, depending on how this year ends and goes, if the Ecklers and the Dalvin Cooks and
they're all tumbling, that's the thing.
I mean, Eckler's wilding out right now.
I guess more or less what I'm saying with that class is if that class can kind of stay healthy and scoring a bunch of fantasy points this year, it would sort of buck a trend a little bit of where the arrow's been pointing down for the fantasy points that older regime had been scoring.
True.
So that could help the overall running back standings potentially out there. So, but you guys would be out on Saquon in the second round?
Well, like Superflex or not, I mean, throw Superflex out the window for a second. Mm-hmm. Even still, like into the first round, you got to get past. You talking about maybe buying a 26-year-old running back who's had major problems in the past with injuries, and if he has a fantastic season this year, which he's on pace to be in, top 3 RB, like you're still trying to buy. Like you got to get you got.
He's an unrestricted free agent. Did y'all discuss that at all?
In that type of situation, you're going to have who's a guy, a Waddle. Are you going to invest in the first round at the end of the first round?
Waddle, but
are you going to take Barkley or are you going to take the 23-ish-year-old Waddle?
Well, I think Waddle's going to be jumping up into the first round.
I know, but I'm saying, you only got so many spots to be at the end of the first round before you're out, because you still got Chase, you got Waddle, you got Jefferson, obviously. So those are and then you got CeeDee Lamb. Are you taking CeeDee Lamb? Or are you taking?
Well, let's just say if it's not Superflex and he's the RB4 basically in rankings.
You taking Saquon over Drake London?
Are
you taking Saquon over Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, because there's just the wide receiver plentiful argument, because you just keep.
Well, it'd be Diggs. If St. Brown keeps up the trajectory that he's at, St. Brown would certainly be up in that second round.
If St. Brown can get back healthy and he can go back to scoring 20-something points, he's way up there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. AJ Brown's basically re-solidified himself as being up in there.
That was who I was looking for a minute ago, and I was blanking on his name. But
there's going to be there's going to be 10 to 15 wide receivers, but
that's what
Devontae, Diggs, and Cooper Kupp are probably all going to
continue to
slide back a little bit.
No matter how good they do, they have to. I'm not taking any of those wide receivers over Saquon probably.
And all those guys are going to probably jump Debo.
Yeah. So because so you got a couple of younger running backs who are going to be in front of Saquon. You got a couple of stud wide receivers, and so maybe you can keep. We got a plenty of season before we had to figure out who's first round startup pick next year.
So test the waters where we're at now.
All right.
It seems like maybe the Giants could be a pretty strong candidate to bring back Saquon.
They got the cap
for what he's doing, and they got the cap. And if Dayball thinks that he's a part of what they're doing, I could see him saying, "Yeah, let's not pay him stupid money, but let's give him a nice little contract."
Yeah, if I'm Saquon, I'll go whoever's giving me the most money.
Go get stupid money.
Go get the most guaranteed money.
Fuck all these dudes. Get your money, man.
Hey,
you do get. I guess he does have like a lot of endorsement opportunity being in New York. I guess is like part of the appeal.
I would assume that there's probably a little bit more market
SEO for fucking New York.
Yeah, but it's 2022. I mean, if you're a star,
everybody knows.
It's wild the NFL won't let these boys get like beer deals, but they sell it at all their fucking games, and they got Budweiser as a sponsor. Yeah, they can't have. There's like no sponsorships for beer.
Saquon leaves the Giants. I mean, it's hard to say, but
anywhere he goes,
he's more interesting. He's almost more interesting to me on the Giants than I wouldn't say any other team, but most other teams.
I mean, you love players with Dayball,
right?
I mean, they're not going to go and bring in 4 stud receivers in 1 year, 1 calendar year. So at a minimum, if he stays, he got paid. But it's basically he's in that spot where no matter where he's at, he just got a big contract from somebody. So you're not paying a running back Saquon Barkley money to not use Saquon Barkley. Right. So the opportunity is going to be there no matter where he's at. But if he's a part of this turnaround right here with Dayball and the Giants, enjoy seeing him be there.
If you were losing, what would be the price tag?
Especially in the second year of the season, because now he don't have to go learn a new offense.
Right.
And he's been there with the coach. Because Dayball,
maybe the offense does do a little bit of upgrading of how they run things, but
it's the
base of things.
Yeah. He's bringing in the second page of that yellow pad.
Right.
But Saquon knows the first page already instead of going somewhere else. So I get it.
What would be the price to sell if you were rebuilding and wanted to get rid of Saquon?
Good question. Strong question. Way to get us wrapped up with this guy.
It's got to be
more than a 23 first.
It's got to be 2 firsts for me right now at minimum.
The pace that he's going.
Or a first round pick. What I would be looking for is 2 different things, 2 different combos. A first round pick from the worst team in the league,
or a projected bottom 4 maybe.
Or quote unquote the worst team in the league. Like I've guaranteed put me in that top 1, 2, 3 discussion of running of rookies. And then somebody fun-ish for cherry on top because Saquon's crushing right now.
Olave and Saquon get it done for you?
Olave
in the first, rather?
Olave in the worst team in the league's first?
Let's just,
probably
bottom,
not getting...
bottom 4.
Sure.
But they're not going to sell that pick, right? You're probably not getting an early first.
It can be done.
We're talking hypothetical.
We're talking hypothetical.
And
but
the bottom team could be a team who had a bunch of injuries, or could be an idiot, or could be
the
just
bottom team doesn't always grasp that they're the bottom team.
I
literally sold Saquon Barkley to one of the bottom teams in a league this year preseason, just to get it done. And it was his first round pick,
right?
And he was, a good team that went bad and not going to be good this year,
right?
And this season, and I knew Saquon.
Maybe they had some highs.
Obviously, you give away Saquon, and
right.
Saquon blows up.
Sure.
You just, it's what. But there wasn't enough players on that roster to not be in the target area of where I want that draft pick to be.
So Olave in a first,
a good first.
If it's let's just call it bottom 6 first.
Probably, yeah, because Olave's a stud.
Or top 6 first, however you want to word that. Devonta Smith and a first.
I can't argue with what's going on with Devonta Smith. I haven't exactly been as thrilled with him before because of his situation, because it was stock up Jalen Hurts, but it's stock up.
We would know he's supporting multiple. Well, I guess not really though. AJ Brown hasn't been spectacular last.
There's your take turn situation. You can only
there for a second though. They were.
It was. I mean, he had one game where everybody got fed, but now it's like if you're going to bracket cover, you're not going to. Devonta Smith's too good of a route runner.
It's like a T. Higgins chase,
right?
Jamar
if you're
Chase type sitch.
And see, the thing about the Eagles is it takes a whole squad to tackle AJ Brown. So it ain't like you can even put it ain't like you can even put like that one like stick to him like glue cornerback on him, because even if he's there, right. AJ can just push him down.
He's TO.
So you basically have to have 2 or 3 guys there to try to tackle him.
Right.
So that means Devonta's over here one-on-one and he's going to cut you up because that stick to you like glue. Nobody can stay with Smith. And I just didn't know, I didn't think Hurts would be throwing it as the volume would be there to feed everybody. And of course, we talk about Smith's best 2 games are AJ's worst 2 games. So there's your
T. Higgins
still stock up Hurts.
T. Higgins straight up for Saquon. You need a little more.
I'd love to get a little. They were going neck and neck in startup anyway.
Yeah, and some of them.
They were right there beside each other. T. Higgins was like WR 6 or 7 off.
They both outperformed their ADP so far for sure.
Yeah,
although
Saquon
T. Higgins really let me down this week.
Yeah, Saquon in a much more consistent fashion. Every single week he's right there at the top. So
a young wide receiver versus the middle-aged running back.
There's long term. There's no doubt about it. Is Higgins. But to make that trade, I'm going to be like, you got to put cherry on top because I can go find a wide receiver.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch to the other side real quick. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers loses. We talked about Romeo Doubs a good bit last week and a good bit again on the Wednesday show. So let's go to the other side. Let's talk about Allen Lazard a little bit. Been pretty solid week in, week out with Rodgers here. Is there any interest is there buy, sell, hold on Allen Lazard here? Is there, if you're
I think it's sell or hold for me. He started, I literally put in one league, in one of our Patreon leagues, I put a couple of wide receivers on my bench up for sale because I was trying to create a roster spot, and I had somebody offer me a late 2 for Lazard, and I couldn't trade him because I got a championship team, and a proven championship team, like 1-2 out of the last 3 years, and I'm one of the top 3 favorites to do it again. So I couldn't give away a quality bench starter, and the only reason he's on the bench is because I just got lucky and my team is stacked. And if I wasn't lucky and my team was stacked, he'd be in my starting lineup. He started off with a bum ankle, but now he's in there getting good targets and he's getting quality red zone targets.
Yeah.
And you're probably not going to get out of any team ever their high performance, high octane offense in London. But Aaron Rodgers was just saying, hey, we hadn't put a whole game together. We got to play better than just a quarter or 2 at a time. We've been too conservative. Let's do this. Let's do that. Then they go to London, so we haven't seen anywhere near top end Packers offense. We haven't seen the offense get in a groove and Allen Lazard be healthy this year at the same time, So I feel like there's better to come out of Lazard, but there's obviously still lots of room for growth for Doubs as well. Lazard's just his first year as the one. I could sell him. I didn't want to sell him for a late 2 on a championship team.
Yeah.
If I had him,
I think that's kind of the predicament right now is that like he went 9.3, 14.5, 17.6, and 13.5 in these.
So those last 3 games are solid. I put him in any lineup.
Even the 9.3 first game back didn't kill you. Didn't kill you. It's fine.
Yeah.
But is the 2 enough to get him off your team?
If it would have been an early 2, I could have worked with that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely from a real one of the other top 3 teams I'm battling against. It's one of those things. Me and you talked about it the other day. Just randomly talking about fantasy football. If you got a really good team and it's been good for a while, right now it's kind of boring. You're just waiting on the playoffs.
Right.
You're just trying to stay healthy as you can and wait for the playoffs to get here and hope you get lucky first week if it's not some kind of funky score. And you just don't want to be the best team in the league. And it's always week 15. Now it might be week 16 with the long, or week 14 with the season. However, you don't want to be that team that's the best and then have a dud week, first week of just playoffs and get booted. But so that's my team. Like, do I want to sell Lazard? I'd sell him for the earlies 2, but I can't sell that quality depth for the late 2.
Yeah. And I don't know that anybody's necessarily dying to unload him for anybody that's maybe a little better brand of a player, but struggling a little bit right now.
Well, the name cachet of Lazard doesn't give it to you, but you just,
the points are good
with a team.
That's why I'm almost in buy mode a little bit. If I feel like I got a good team and I need I just need that one other player to flex.
If you can go get Alan Lazard for a late 2, or if you're not sure what's going on with your team, if you say a 3 this year and a 3 next year, and you can put Lazard on your team all day long.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the sell mode, you can say, hey, here's Lazard, here's player X that's worth less than Lazard, or here's Lazard and a projected late 2, or add something to it to trade up for the 1.
Right.
Because I did try to, the dude that offered me the late 2, I tried to get his, it was not his 2. So therefore, he wasn't a great team. He was like, I can't give you my first. And I even went after the 2024 first to make it less valuable. It's like, just give me something that starts with a 1. And he's like, I can't, and it's like, all right, well, what do I need? Now I got to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, what do I need to add to Alan Lazard to get to that first?
Yeah, right. Well, then that's probably the better, if you want to sell him, that's probably the better scenario of trying to figure out how to do that. So that's always a good way to go about things. Would you sell Lazard straight up for Juju, or are you holding on to Lazard? Because I'm probably holding on to Lazard.
Juju hadn't got the targets I thought he was going to get.
Right. Lazard's averaging 13.8 points per game. Juju's at 9.9.
Less than that,
and not having a great game tonight.
Yeah, Juju's kind of draining me
far.
Right now.
Let's see.
And it's not like there's a ton of target
so Ayuk's a guy that we all like. What's your if you could pivot from, let's say, Ayuk to Lazard on a team that you maybe wanted a little bit more scoring week in, week out?
I think
Ayuk at 9.7 a game.
Trading Ayuk for Lazard.
I would give you Lazard for Ayuk.
Right. I would go the other way.
Yeah, I'd trade you Lazard for Ayuk in a heartbeat and just be like, all right, I don't know if I can start him right now, but he's still super young and I know he's good. I know it's in there somewhere, and he's just on a Debo-led offense right now.
Right. With a quarterback who's
coming off an injury and no offseason and still Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayuk
does just win. But
right. Well, that's the thing. It's like you'd like to be upset with Jimmy because he maybe doesn't get Ayuk as involved. Like, isn't going to prop up enough receivers to get Ayuk to the point where you think Ayuk could be.
And I don't see how it gets any better for the 49ers because you're still so invested. If Lance can come back, he's going to get another shot. And because you've invested so much in Lance, obviously not necessarily money wise, because he was the draft picks you gave up, I don't know how you go get a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless you're just like, you know what, screw it. The cap is fake anyway. We're going to just go buy somebody. And figure out the numbers later.
So, AJ Dillon, just a guy that's bumming you out right now a little bit. Just been kind of going down and down and down a little bit.
Oh, that first game was awesome.
It looked so promising.
Nothing.
So a little bum there, but Aaron Jones looking really strong.
Real quick, we got a question about AJ Dillon. I got a few in the queue here, and if you guys ask me a question, I'm queuing them up and gonna find a spot to insert it into. But you just brought up AJ Dillon, so Mick Gunigel, I'm gonna go with Nigel.
Mickey G, baby.
Mickey G asked, "Would you give up AJ Dillon and a late 20? Would you give up AJ Dillon and a late 23 first for Kenneth Walker?"
Yeah. Sure.
You could
It's way too much. It's way too much, and it's piss poor timing for me because I'm so sad right now with the Kenneth Walker thing because I was hoping we'd get another week or two where it was muddy and Kenny Walker didn't really do much, and it was like, all right, we're enough into the season where somebody who paid for him is getting antsy and wants to get rid of him, and instead the motherfucker breaks his. It's the exact opposite I wanted to have happen.
He breaks one, and then the starter gets hurt.
What if it was a late second instead of an early one? An early 2 instead of a late 1.
I'll sell you a 2 at AJ Dillon for Kenneth Walker. We're guys in 2 different scenarios. One guy I think is about to take a stranglehold and just be used like crazy and is the better player than Penny is at this point in Penny's career. And I just 8 carries and broke one off on that backside run where he cut it back on and it's got some speed to him. All of a sudden it's weird because they're throwing at the ball and he can actually catch. I don't know how that happened because he didn't check target share thresholds in college. So I didn't know that he could actually physically catch balls, but he can. So
I would give you a late first AJ Dillon for Kenneth Walker right now.
I would probably too. I answered it so fast that I wanted to safeguard myself.
Well, because I started laughing because it really could have been. Would you give any it could have been like a flat line fill in the blank? Would you give this for Kenneth Walker? And if you ask that question to Casey, it's going to be almost a yes for pretty much anything you put in that box.
I love
Kenny. So we got another question.
So yes, I'd give a late first and AJ Dillon for Kenneth
Walker so high in Dynasty? Absolutely not, right?
I mean, if that's how you like to play it, I mean that's probably the best question.
You probably paid him. You paid for him
right
in the
now because that's
draft.
a little bit more your style of play.
You paid for him though, so it's like you're finally getting what you're about to see. If you get what you paid for, maybe you'd be cashing out at the same level of what you paid. Maybe right?
If you're getting more than just a first,
it all depends on what the offer is.
Right.
You say, "Hey, I sell high." Like I see what Jay Wayne is saying. What are you getting that you didn't just give up anyway? And you just got a guy that ripped off a 70-yard touchdown run, and the guy that was leading the backfield / sharing the backfield just got hurt for the year, and he ain't coming back. And the team's playing a lot better offensively than you would have ever imagined.
Right.
So that anybody would have ever imagined. So
what about the game script?
You got to get some. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be negative game script every single game, and it's not. So
that was not good, Clyde.
You got to get.
Sorry,
you got to. If you're selling high, what is your high?
Right.
Is
it Kenny Walker went at 1.5, and you can get Drake London?
Right.
You probably can't get Drake London, but maybe
I could definitely see somebody giving you Drake London for Kenny Walker right now.
Would you do that?
Most Dynasty enthusiasts that are going to be experts are going to say no because you're going to choose the longevity of the wide receiver over what Kenneth Walker's going to give you.
But you could probably get more for Drake London than Kenneth Walker,
for sure.
In about 2 or 3 weeks, you might not be able to.
In about 2 or 3 weeks, you might. It's a running back, and there's not many out there that you even want on your team right now.
It looked pretty easy for him to outrun everybody.
Potentially get, and so
like
ETN or Kenny 3 sticks straight up.
Give me Kenny.
They're not even close right now. The usage, like James Robinson, for some reason, is still awesome at football, even though his Achilles blew off.
We'll get to that in just a second.
All right. So yeah, I mean Kenny, he's asking questions, and I was just trying.
Yeah, no, that's a Kenneth Walker.
You got questions, we got answers.
Might not be right, but
that's why you got to join these live shows Monday night. Get your questions answered. I'm gonna squeeze them in. Hit that like, subscribe.
All right, we're
comment button.
Move at a little quicker pace here. Steelers, Buffalo Bills.
Real quick before we go on to that, let's get a couple trade questions in here.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
I want them. Bring them on. As long as they're not stupid
hot
questions.
And heavy.
Although there's no such thing as a stupid question, according to my teachers.
Stupid people.
Just read them.
I think is what the saying is. But
just read them.
No, if I can answer, if it's easy, I can answer it in the chat. But if it's worth a discussion, I'll start up and get it in when I can. So Delusional Tanner says, would you trade Dotson for Deontay and a 23 second? Yeah.
Wait,
I guess so.
Dotson for Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson for Deontay Johnson and a 2. I have Pickens and really like him, which is making me hesitant. And I think I'd rather still have Deontay over Jahan. So,
yeah, I mean,
it's pretty easy. If you can get
is
a 2,
that Trenton Demon over there with a question?
He's up next.
OG Trenton?
Oh, for sure.
Let's roll.
Trenton D. All right. Let's see. He asks, Rule is gone and Baker is hurt. Thoughts on CMC moving forward? I mean,
if CMC's starting for any NFL team, they're going to throw him the ball.
still doing well.
Yeah, plug him.
I mean,
in.
there's a chance that he gets more passing volume.
Put him in.
From
Keep him in your lineup.
PJ Walker, but yeah, no, I mean, and now there's been a little Buffalo Bills rumors of maybe Bills reaching out for CMC.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that one I don't even need to answer. Although we are going to talk about DJ Moore here in a little bit, so maybe I'll just save that one. D. Drampian says he traded DJ Moore for George Pickens. Fucking great.
Strong move.
I love it.
Let's see. Ridley Truther, what up? Says on a 0.1 points per carry contender, would you trade A.J. Dillon for Aaron Jones? 12-team Superflex PPR Dynasty.
Huh?
I've never. Well, assuming that A.J. Dillon ends up getting more carries than A.J. than
Which was
Aaron
the trend
Jones.
this week.
But I don't
Been fairly
really
close,
play a whole
but
lot of points per carry, so I don't really understand.
You need
how
10 carries get you a point. It doesn't seem like it's that
is that how that works?
much better, right? 0.1
Oh yeah,
points per carry. You need 10 to get a point.
I
Give
didn't
me
hear
Aaron
that. I
Jones.
didn't hear that part of the question.
So
give me
either
Aaron
way,
Jones.
you're trading Dillon for Jones.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Still PPR, I would presume.
Yeah, it was. What should you try and get for Kittle? I'm rebuilding 12-team half-point.
You gotta
PPR.
wait.
You gotta wait.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trade Kittle right now. I'd love to trade Kittle right now on a team, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wait.
Yep.
All right, let's move over to Steelers, Buffalo. Not really going to touch on too much Steelers because we hit that last go round. Looks like Kenny Pickens and Kenny Pickett got a little thing going on. Najee Harris right now, a little bummed right now that offensive line isn't doing any favors. Kenny Pickett not targeting Najee Harris heavily.
Didn't see that coming.
Well, Najee's dealing with some shit, man. He's got like a foot issue that he had preseason, right? And then went out week 1, and they were getting blown the fuck out, and everyone's making a big deal about Jaylen Warren, and he looks better, and he's getting more snaps this last game. It was like they were getting blown out, and then you might as well not throw Najee in there. But all that being said, it is a little bit of a time to panic with Najee, right? You got to be like, fuck.
I mean, if you have Najee in redraft, then you might could try to get out from Najee in redraft, but in Dynasty, you got to sit tight. But a lot of people are anti-Najee because the explosion factor of things, and but I don't know what
Kelsey again. God
what you
damn
could
it.
sell Najee Harris for in redraft currently to try to get maybe another running back because nothing really seems like it would be like I don't think you could get Kenny Walker right now for Najee. Do you?
I doubt it, but I'd send it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got a player in redraft. You got a player who's hurt. You got to try to trade him away.
And the Steelers are about to go put in a new quarterback, and they're about to play the Bills, the Bucks.
They're about to take their lumps.
Right. They're playing after we went through.
Why would they do
game.
that to Pickett?
I mean, because Pickett's over there getting tackled and mushing defensive linemen because he didn't like the way they tackled him. That's why they're playing Pickett because he's like, yeah, I got some juice for this squad right now. Like he's over there.
Trubisky wasn't going to work though.
No,
wasn't going to work.
He's just a punching bag.
Yeah.
All right, so I just really want to get on the other side of Gabe Davis because he's been injured and banged up, and the ankle hasn't been right. And the practice tape from a couple weeks ago, he was clearly injured. In this last game before this one, he was out there and getting targeted, but still gimpy. This game,
not gimpy,
and
full practices too.
Right, full practices the whole week, pretty much.
Good.
Giving you the go sign to put him in your lineup. Kept him out of the lineup the last few weeks, if you could. Hopefully you could. You could find somebody else. And he went back in the lineup and obviously blows it up. Thoughts on Gabe moving forward? Is this a sell window, or is this just like I'm so excited to have Gabe Davis on my team?
You got to pay up if you're trying to get Gabe from me, buddy.
Because I don't think anybody. Some guys, I think they would really care that it was just 3 catches for however many yards he had and 2 touchdowns. But some guys, people don't care that was the case. And I don't think Gabe. I think Gabe's one of those where people don't care that that's the case.
They are expecting it. They got it.
It's the Bills and it's Josh Allen. This is
right.
They got Diggs, and obviously they had some other wide receivers that were out.
Right. No McKenzie, no Dawson Knox, no Crowder.
Yeah. So they were thin up. Shakur comes out there balling too. Gabe is a big play guy. I mean, obviously Diggs is the big play guy, but that's Josh Allen is so good. There's multiple big play guys. Not a lot of teams get multiple big play guys. The Bills have a couple because their quarterback can do it. Throws for 4 TDs and 350 yards or 450 yards in the first half.
Right.
That's the situation. The ceiling of the offense is a ceiling that we've really never seen before. That's all it is for me. I mean, obviously, Gabe Davis is not the best wide receiver in the league, but he's 23 years old. He's 6'2", 210 or whatever, and
he's bigger than that.
He's out there doing work.
He's 6'3".
So, there's a Gabe Davis on the screen right there. It says 6'2", 210. I can literally see it.
Okay.
So,
that's what Sleeper says.
Yeah. So whether those measurements are right, but I literally can see him. Good call. So, he's just out there.
Overruled. Good call.
Yeah.
Devastating to my case.
Devastating. To me, it takes. There's players that you just ran through the Lazard game log, and we were like, yeah, man, I'd plug him into flex any day of the week. You look at Gabe Davis's game log in the week 1 before he got hurt, and the week when he's not hurt, and the weeks in between are not great, and hopefully he's not starting. But those ceiling games are what helps you win.
So basically, the week 1 game, he had some targets, but caught this touchdown on that nice play design and scored, and then had a big game where this week, the first one, I don't even know what the fuck they were doing. I think he could have thrown it to Diggs or Davis. And on the second one, Davis makes a play like. That's what that's the ceiling that you're talking about from Davis. So it doesn't concern you at all that maybe those big games box scores are maybe some Fugazis that'll be up and down, or
it's not that it's a Fugazi because the points are there. It's just because with Josh Allen, the thing is with Gabe Davis is there might be 2 for 40. He caught that 30-yard pass. It wasn't a touchdown. There might be a 2 for 40 and a 6 versus like somebody who in the Lazard, maybe they don't hit their upper echelon swing of the offense. That 14-point flex option, there's like, man, I got 14 points in my flex. I'll take the guy that could get me 6 or 30.
Yeah.
Because that 6 is that 8 less than 14 to get to 6, but you just doubled the 14 to go to 28. And I'll take that because he's going to average 17 instead of 14.
What's a bummer is that we did have some injury game throughout there, so we haven't got to see if we can maybe see that there is like just an okay floor, but and instead of him being the flex play, be the wide receiver 2 play for you.
Right. We got Big T's talking about how you might regret not selling him long TDs on 2 of his 3 catches. He'll have more duds than good weeks by far. Selling for someone more consistent. Like you gotta acknowledge that he was hurt. He was dealing with an injury, and so you would think that a healthy number 2 in this offense is going to be a consistent producer.
Right. We haven't quite got the luxury to see that for this many games because
we haven't seen it. He's so young though. Like he had that 4 touchdown breakout game in the playoffs.
I could go either way on
this
the
year.
Hype
paid off week 1, got hurt, a little bit of a bummer, buy windows right there, and then comes back with a blow-up game on 3 catches.
CeeDee Lamb had a couple games where you didn't want him in your lineup. I mean,
for sure.
It's the game that we play. The reason it's so fun is because there's a very little. There's only one Cooper Kupp. There's only one person. There's only one Antonio Brown when he was. There's only one guy here and there that are always going to crush every single week, and so it's not going to happen. And
if it could be 8 to 10s for Davis on the off weeks, and everyone's going to have the 6 or the 4 here and there. Every good player, but if it could be more like 8 or 10 on the downs, that's just so that I know that I can get 4 for 60 and some weeks and 3 for 70 or even just like 3 for 50, just know that's kind of his floor.
Yeah.
Then I'd feel a little more comfortable. And it seems like I don't really know that. So I could be either way, mostly leaning towards keeping Gabe Davis, mostly because of all the things that you said previous to that. Would you sell Gabe Davis for Dameon Pierce right now?
I think you got to.
I think I would. Actually, I know I would. So
You've been trying to get us to do it for weeks.
That's a good coin flip. I got that. It would have to be somebody like that. I mean, like sell for Gabe Davis. I'm not going to take your 4 quarters for my $1.
Right.
You have to give me another $1.
I got to give you another $1 after Dameon Pierce.
No. But I'm saying
Dameon Pierce is 4 quarters.
I don't want your Allen Lazard and your 2 third-round picks. Don't offer me Allen Lazard and 2 thirds for Gabe Davis.
Right.
It's a quick rejection. Don't offer me a second and third and
but Dameon Pierce is like $1 to Gabe's $1.
Yeah, you got to give me somebody who, like right now, you could get a first-round pick for Gabe Davis. You get a first-round pick for Dameon Pierce. You got to bring.
Can you get a first-round pick now for Dameon Pierce?
Can you not?
I would assume so. That you could, and then I think you could get a first-round pick for. Can you get a first-round pick for Gabe Davis? Would probably be more my question.
I did see it happen. There's one
it's kind of been all over, but no, I feel you. I feel you on that one.
2 and a 3 for Gabe Davis, not enough. No.
Would you swap Gabe Davis out for Chris Olave?
Yeah.
You said Garrett Wilson earlier, so I'll just bring him up because he's been Gabe Davis or Chris Olave. Or Garrett Wilson.
I'll give you Gabe Davis for Olave, and I'll give you Gabe Davis for Garrett Wilson.
Not worried about the volatility of the Jets moving forward.
Yes,
right.
You are worried about that.
Why wouldn't you be?
Right.
Who's not?
Yeah. But you're still fine with giving up
a pure
Gabe
talent
to just get Garrett.
Yeah.
And the hype, the overall love of those other rookies is probably going to be greater than the Gabe Davis love.
Gabe Davis without Josh Allen is what? Garrett Wilson with
whomever.
Garrett Wilson with Joe Flacco has already showed us that.
Ball win.
Chris Olave
is Flacco's elite though.
Chris Olave's already done work with Red Rifle and Jameis Winston would have broken back.
Gabe Davis probably closer to like a MVS without.
Maybe not that low.
No, I'm just maybe a rich
very rich man's MVS maybe, but because Gabe
is
Davis
just going to be a rich.
Nothing. I mean, MVS
was relaxed with the MVS comparison. Goddamn,
MVS was
put Gabe Davis
thinner and faster.
Value down.
Gabe Davis is more, of a he's got a heavier set. He's not MVS.
So Romeo and Jahan Dotson, either one of those guys for Gabe, because I feel like those were back end of first guys. And both were probably actually second-round guys in most rookie drafts.
Those are good offers. I mean, that's one. Hey, I
can maybe stay with Gabe there.
I can see any
for
of that.
Josh Allen.
Romeo looks so. He got that 87. He looks good.
87's a good number. He gets behind defense.
Great number for him.
If he was tied to Rodgers for longer, I'd say auto pickup.
He's 6'2". He looks 6'3.5". He looks big.
Yeah.
He looks big. Romeo looks big.
He's left some points out on the table too.
And Dotson is not look big, but he is obviously a playmaker. Mm-hmm. You're not 4 touchdowns in 3 games of your rookie season and not be a beast.
Right. It's just the situation over
Too many
there.
Touchdowns. It's only place to go is down.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's go Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars. Really, we're just stopping by here to get our weekly Dameon Pierce. Seems like I don't know how much longer people can deny that Dameon Pierce is actually good at football.
Real quick, Ridley Truther said, what'd you think of Romeo at the Senior Bowl, though?
I just couldn't get off press, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the Dameon Pierce theme there.
That's all right.
What did you say about Dameon Pierce? He's the best ever, right?
I mean, are we ready to just be? Are we okay? Is Dameon Pierce good enough at football now? Are we good?
I don't know, Matt Foreman. You're in the chat. Let me hear it.
Is he in there?
He said shaking my head. I don't know when he said that, but I'm sure that was about when we were talking about Dameon Pierce earlier, maybe.
That's really all we're stopping by here for. We got
shout out to
bring this up real
Dameon
quick.
Pierce. What you looking for?
Just the usage here.
The snap shares.
Dameon Pierce, 46 snaps, 13 routes run, 5 targets. Rex Burkhead, 12 snaps, 9 routes run. Dameon Pierce just getting a lot of the touches, starting to even take some more away from
Those
Rex Burhead.
receptions.
Got some good receptions again this week, again for a low total, but doesn't matter. Got the goal line work, which had been going to Rex a little earlier. So if we can just get Rex or Dameon Pierce into the 2-minute, which I'm not 100% sure if he was or wasn't this week, but I mean Dameon Pierce finally looking good, and I'm still holding on to that. I would absolutely trade a 23 first for Dameon Pierce.
Matt said, sell.
If you have hate in your
He's
heart, let it
replaceable. And then let's dive into a little. I mean, we got to give ET a little love here. J-Rob seeing less and less usage and less efficiency the last 3 weeks.
On the way down.
And now I don't know if that's I came back. You know, maybe there are still some lingering steroids, and I don't know. It seems unfair to put that on him, but ET having a nice week this week. That there was a fumble in there that I don't think counted. That he looked like it was a catch and then a fumble, but maybe he didn't have it all the way. I didn't see him get credited with that. But then he also had a really nice catch on the sideline that got taken away from a penalty, so kind of a give and a take there. But I liked everything that you were seeing from Travis Etienne this week, and the coach came out this week and basically said, hey, it's been on me that ET hasn't gotten the amount of work that he should get and that is warranted for him. So all signs pointing to good things for Travis Etienne. There may still be some buy low windows, although I know people have already made up their mind that he stinks. So
it's closing. The buy low window's closing.
If you could trade Najee Harris for Travis Etienne right now, would you in redraft? Would you do that?
Yeah, in redraft. I mean, I would.
That was quick.
Well, I mean, you got
shipping Najee off. That's what you said, right? Najee for ET.
Yeah. In redraft. I mean, you ain't gonna take much to get. What am I gonna do with a guy who's hurt and barely playing and getting minimal run and just be out of the playoffs soon? I mean, if I'm winning,
I mean, it's been kind of that way for ET the first couple of weeks too.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not.
Probably been fairly similar.
If you're winning and if you just got lucky with a couple of late round draft picks and you're studded out and you don't need a Najee anyway, I guess you could hold. I mean, you know, Najee doesn't have a James Robinson on his team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's anything to be had from the running back position, Najee's going to get it. So I guess you could have him on but if
people are loving Warren,
if you're struggling,
Warren's like the Pollard, new Pollard.
And you need Najee to be doing something in your lineup, or if you're 1-3 or 2-3 coming out of this week, and you're
mix
like,
it up.
Hey, if I don't do something here,
don't be messing with my crowns. Mix them up.
Gotta do something.
All right,
Family Guy reference. Stewie doesn't like people play with crayons.
You guys want to hit a little Cowboys Rams action? Rams just looking
terrible,
awful.
Offensive
line woes out the wazoo. Listening to the coordinator and the head coach after the game, basically saying that we're really not good enough to be more than like a one read team right now. So it's really hard to get Allen Robinson the ball. And Higbee's the lower depth of target guy. So we've been getting right. He's right there to get that ball out to him. Whereas, A-Rob's doing different things on the backside of the play. And obviously, a lot of what they're doing is going to be Cooper Kupp, the design play for him to be the first read. And that's where Stafford's going to go. So that, but they're so bad on the offensive line that they don't have any time. And it's becoming apparent. And I was listening to Chris Long and Rich Eisen today, and he was basically like, really what they need to try to do is like get back to a run game, let your defense play, like just take a couple of weeks here and try to get a run game established with one of these guys and let your defense play ball and do what the Cowboys are doing right now. So anybody on the Rams not named Cooper Kupp or Higbee, I guess, which I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, you were hot and heavy on Higbee. Then you stayed a little on him maybe last year. And now I think we finally sold him in one league. And
now he's crushing. Yeah, I got Higbee on my absolute worst team. He's sitting over there by himself scoring points for no reason. Kelsey got his third touchdown, Jay.
Not good.
What's really kind of comical about the Rams situation is for all year long last year, and like, well, Stafford brings us. We got 5 eligibles. That was the thing. We now we got rid of Goff. We got Stafford. Now we got 5. All 5 eligibles are dangerous. We can hit you in anywhere on the field. You got to cover short. You got to cover deep. You got to cover medium. You got to cover right. You got to cover left. Our 5 eligibles, and now they can't get past their first read.
Right.
They're a half the field read team
Right.
and check down to the tight end. So I agree. I hadn't heard that. I didn't hear that about Rich Eisen today. But I mean, why not just say, hey, McVay, the brainiac, the brainchild, get back in there and go back to your running game, draw that up, because fancy passing game ain't working right now.
You can't sell acres, right? You just got to kind of hang on right now, or do you just try to sell low? On Robinson, obviously, nothing's happening over there.
Nothing's happening over there.
You selling high on to Higbee, or are you just riding this wave? It's a tight end. I feel like you might have to just ride that wave.
Depends on what's going on. I mean,
yeah, sure.
If you got a team going nowhere, like I do. I got one of my teams, one of the Patreon teams going nowhere. But I got
tight end premium.
No, it's not tight end premium, but I have 5 first-round picks next year, so I'm stoked. It's gonna be a good time. I'm trying. I would love to sell Higbee. Obviously, pretty much everybody in that league is gonna listen to this, and they're gonna be like, "Why? I ain't buying that. I ain't buying Higbee from Corey. What am I doing?" I'd love to sell him. Because what if, when things change around, like Higbee wasn't crushing last year, same coach, same quarterback.
No Van Jefferson.
And when things change, I don't need that guy on my team next year. If he's worth this now, he's going to be worse.
Right. I think that's a good call.
When the Rams are doing what they want to do, it's not Higbee all the time.
Higbee's not in the design.
We've already seen him crush and win the Super Bowl, and it wasn't Higbee.
Right.
And they brought in Allen Robinson, and they talked about him, not Higbee. And now Higbee's the check down guy, and he's crushing.
Yeah.
So like like you said,
agreed.
If you're winning and I don't see a whole lot changing this year, and at least the next 6 weeks, 4 to 6, that you don't all of a sudden get a good offensive line in this league. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, ride the wave if he's scoring you points on the team where you need those points.
All right, let's jump over to the Cowboys side of things. Zeke not doing a whole lot for you, doing more for the offense than probably
for your
fantasy team. Pollard had the one big run this week. It's like unless Pollard has a big run, he's usable. If he doesn't, not great.
Same old Pollard.
I guess really nice to see Gallup back. I picked Gallup up a week early in some redrafts last week and actually plugged him in one deeper one. So the buy window on Gallup is closed. We had him on some trade targets there, but it's nice to see Gallup in the lineup. And when Stat comes back, that the gloves are off for that.
I don't think the buy window's closed.
Not quite. You think would you still get in there?
I think the window's open until Dak comes back.
Would you trade Lazard for Gallup?
It's a great question. We're talking straight up
stick with
Dynasty,
Lazard
not redraft, right? We're saying
it's a Dynasty.
Dynasty trade. Yeah, I'll take Gallup.
You're sticking Lazard?
I think I got to stick with Lazard.
I'll take Gallup. Like short term, it's probably going to be Gallup, but give me Gallup. I mean, short term Lazard, long term Dak and Gallup, baby.
You guys want to talk any CD, or you guys want to keep it moving?
I mean, conservative offense, just trying to let the defense win games. The CD's not going to be out there exploding. They're not going to throw it 35 times a game, 40 times a game like they do with Dak. He got hit on a couple of nice post patterns, and Cooper Rush just found him somehow. So
yeah, I mean, this has been
scored some points.
This has been some of CD's best work.
I know,
really.
CeeDee Lamb or DK Metcalf?
CD.
DK's wilding out right now.
DK's doing his thing.
With Geno Smith. Told you heard it here.
You sure did.
Let me get DK.
I like DK too. I like DK.
You're going DK over CD? Rankings?
Yeah. Dynasty rankings.
Sure.
Higgins.
Give me the stallion. Give me DK. Give me the stallion.
All right. I mean, I don't until DK was definitely right there for a minute there, and then kind of tapered off. So
maybe Russell's the problem.
Yeah,
sure.
CD's been 4.9, 15.1, 22.7, 21.7, and 10.3 for CD here. So doing some solid work with Cooper Rush. You would think that when Dak comes back, that we could just be consistently in the 15 to 20 range. And that's what we're hoping for out of CeeDee Lamb. For CD or T Higgins, give me CD.
Okay.
That's got to be CD for me, right? Or you going T Higgins there?
You would imagine that there's consistent higher end points come from the team's wide receiver one versus a team like the Bengals who has Chase and T Higgins. And
he's been outscoring Chase a
Joe
whole
Mixon.
lot.
Oh yeah,
Basically his whole career.
no doubt.
So you taking Chase, or are you taking T, or are you taking?
I'm trading down. I'm taking T.
Okay. Jalen Waddle surpassed CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Got to.
How about AJ Brown
Or Waddle
or
CD.
CD?
CD or AJ?
Obviously, this is so early. We're ranking these guys. We're having some fun right now.
This is just a good time. My if I had to watch him play, it's AJ Brown. Hey, that's what the guys on my team. I got one TV this week, and I'm gonna turn on the Eagles and watch AJ Brown play. I want him on my team, but I think long term,
CD has some AJ Brown in him. There's some funness to watching CD.
Probably the answer to that question, because he doesn't have. I don't know. I mean,
he's got 2 years on AJ Brown. If that matters,
AJ Brown is basically Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
AJ Brown's basically Deebo Samuel, and I just don't think the longevity is there for those types of guys.
So much punishment.
Yeah, they dish it out. You can only run into brick walls over and over and over again until it really starts hurting.
I could take CD over AJ Brown still, I guess.
All right, I could be okay with that. Let's throw a wild card in there. St. Brown keeps up the pace he's at and just keeps doing St. Brown things.
Mm-hmm.
Is St. Brown up in this discussion? Would you rather have CD or St. Brown? If St. Brown stays on, obviously he's probably not going to keep scoring 24.4 points a game. And this last game that he scored, that he was just in,
snap count,
everything was
probably
a little
should have
down.
just sat out. They have a bye week right now.
Probably going to drag that average down because this is only the week 4.
They definitely regret playing.
If they knew they were going to get
week.
beat 26-0,
Right.
he would have never put.
I think that's why he didn't do. I think he probably
have
could
more
have played
plays.
A little more.
Yeah,
if they weren't getting killed anyway.
He does have that Detroit heart of a lion kind of
good point.
dog in him.
So
sick of that dog in him.
CD what you or isn't
St. Brown what you want CD to be?
Isn't St. Brown everything you want in a PPR wide receiver?
Everything.
Everything.
And this quarterback says, "Hey, that's the guy I'm throwing to." That's all you need. If you don't get the targets, you can't get the catches.
That's a straight facts.
Obviously, CD can take the
100.
top off. Like St. Brown's not really taking the top off of it.
But St. Brown,
After the catch,
fucking handed to St. Brown and he'll score a touchdown. Yeah.
After the catch, with the ball in their hands.
I mean, but that was the part of CD that was supposed to be great, is the ball in his hands. He's like he's so good at ruining angles.
And the Cowboys are so good at not getting him the ball.
But he's also had something, he's had some big drops and had some just been a little up and down. I think you got to stick with CD right now, but man, I think St. Brown's right on his heels.
That's the point. You trade down.
You got to trade down. All right. Let's do one more in there. Drake London or CD?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like Drake. I trade down off of CD. CD was the guy I was never taking.
With CeeDee Lamb.
I was never taking CeeDee Lamb in the startups because I was just passing him on getting this guy or getting that guy. Or when CD's still on the board, you don't have to worry about your favorite receipt. You're the guy you want going. If you were in the startup, you're like, well, I really want. If you're at the, 1-10-2-2, and Casey Myers wants Jalen Waddle at 2-2, and he's sitting there at 110, and he's like, well, there's no chance that Waddle's not going for CD. So you take the player you want at 110. You only got 11 and 12 and 1. You got 3 guys to go, and CD's definitely going to go before Waddle. So you just
last year. Do you want to get out of here? I'll probably do another game or two, but I'll give you the out. I was gonna do Philly Zona.
I can't go home right now anyway. I just drank a cherry Coke.
Okay,
so if I drank a cherry Coke and ate 2 pieces of pizza on the way over here. So, I mean, my body's like, what are you doing? Why did we just get caffeine at 9 o'clock at night? Because I was almost asleep. So I had to get the had to do the uppers. Some
Sure.
So I need some PEDs to get on the mics.
Sure.
And now my body's got to deal with it.
We'll do a little Philly Zona and San Fran, Carolina, and then maybe end with some. I don't know how much more Kenny Walker talk we need to have.
We had it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely make that a video.
So let's jump over to. You want to do Niners, Carolina first, or Philly Zona?
Do Philly Zona.
All right.
Wade asked us what you'd be willing to give up for Devonta Smith. We've definitely talked about him. We've said we'd give up a 23 first for him, but that could just be a lead off into the discussion. I gotta go take a quick bathroom break.
Go for it.
I'm not giving my early 23 first for Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think that's usually
if I got a bad
the
team.
discussion is that you're not giving up any of the early 23 first. You're probably hanging on to most players just because.
Right. Okay. Unless they got to be top end guys.
Right.
Because, like you said, Robinson is getting taken with the top end guys as soon as he's in your draft.
Right. Agreed. So Philly Zona, fun game there. Kyler with the weird play at the end there, and then they don't make the field goal. Could have easily been looking at Eagles' first loss after. Zona is just one of the weirdest teams in the league, man. Just first half is just trash, and then the second half is just like all of a sudden they'll just be right in every damn game. And Nuke's not out there, but Hollywood is just absolutely slaying it right now.
Sure.
Thoughts on trying to buy Nuke right now at all?
Would have been a lot easier in week 1.
Well, sure.
You can't
Now we're
wait
getting
until
close.
the day. Yeah, you can't. That's not how you play it. You don't wait. I mean, he was like a 13th round startup pick in some of the league, depending on what your settings were as far as tight end premium and Superflex and all that stuff. You could have got him in the 10th round and something straight up, which is, super cheap. But then now he's coming back. So that's just, now you got to really give it up to get him now. Not that I wouldn't, but it's still, every year, obviously this is week 5, but you got to play the game based on percentages and odds of, hey, is this guy, am I definitely, if you have a trade deadline or whatever, so which would be obviously later in the year, most likely. But let's just say Hopkins wasn't coming back till week 12.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously this is happening now, but just back it up so it goes into your playoffs, because it's hard to say if you're making the playoffs now unless you're 5-0 type stuff. But hey, am I making the playoffs for sure? And if I do, the way the ball bounces any given Sunday, is Hopkins really, how much is he increasing my chances of winning that first round of the playoffs to go to the championship or go forward? And I'm literally drawing this from 5 years ago when I bought maybe 6-7 years ago, I bought maybe Carlos Hyde was crushing.
Mm-hmm.
49er Carlos Hyde was crushing. And it was the week of the trade deadline to FFPC. And I'm a lock for the playoffs. And I give up my first round pick next year for Carlos Hyde because I wanted another guy to play RB2 that was playing like RB1, and Carlos Hyde was doing that. Trade deadline's relatively early in FFPC. Something happened. It's been years and something happened. Something went wrong, and I just lost first round, and Carlos Hyde didn't help me do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like I just gave up my first to help me win in the playoffs, and I didn't win. It wasn't Carlos Hyde's fault.
Right.
I think he actually played well, but my team shit the bed. So therefore, my trade for Carlos Hyde, and I bring that up because he wasn't an old man, but he wasn't young,
Right.
and running back's different. But now Hopkins is not young.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the,
whichever position you're in.
no matter what position you're in. But so now you bring in Hopkins, and what are you paying for a guy is he really going to help you make the playoffs? Is he really going to help you win a championship? So how much are you giving? And Hopkins could come in there and go 10 for 100 for 6 straight weeks.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock anybody, especially coming off them PEDs. He about to be Will Fuller all over again, Will Fuller was wide receiver 3 before he got popped.
Shout out to Will Fuller.
Shout out to Will
How's
Fuller.
he not in the league? What's he up
Must
to?
have done something.
Yeah.
He
So
must be getting blackballed.
Something ain't right.
they have Hollywood Brown right now at RB. This is what 1 through 4 PPR week 1 through 4. He's wide receiver 6, averaging 19 points a game. This isn't with this week. He might have dropped a little bit because he I think he only had like 13. Let's see here.
While you look that up, let me run through 2 other scenarios. You know, Jay Wayne's got a good team in our 12-man league, OG league.
Just lost to Travis Kelce.
He just gave up a first-round pick 2 years ago for Julio Jones to help make a push in the 12-man. But you didn't win. And you're like, I gave up, you know. And
I would have taken Rondale Moore with that pick.
I gave up. Let me just finish. I gave up. Maybe it was the year after. I gave up Pittman, who I drafted as a rookie. I gave up Pittman for Julio on a team to win the championship. I did win the championship, but Julio had nothing to do with it because he got hurt. And but it still burns. I won my championship. I got paid. That money would pay for the league dues for longer before Julio going to be long retired before that money runs out. That he didn't even help me win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like if Hopkins gets back, Hopkins coming back. Don't give up a player like a Pittman who I liked enough to draft. I had to go trade for him back. I bought him back. You know, sold low,
really
bought high. Sold low, bought high.
That doesn't happen to you very often.
Opposite of what you're supposed to be doing here. Buy low, sell high.
You just spite not buy back high almost.
No, I had to because I knew it was. I mean, I bought high, but that was before the season started, so he's done even better. You know, of course, he's been nicked up and he got 10 points last week, but first week of the season, you're like, dang, that was a good trade.
So I take that back. He was wide receiver 6, averaging 19 points per game. He had 21 this game, so he's probably either staying there, going up, or just dropping a little bit. Either way, Hollywood's a wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah.
Duke comes back.
Mm-hmm.
What's this next 2 weeks? He probably comes back after week 6.
Yeah.
So week 7.
Unless there's a
and there might be a bye week.
No, they don't have a bye till week 13. So
what
back week 7.
What do you think about Hollywood? You could rank him. You could buy, sell, hold him. How do you think this impacts Hollywood Brown? And would you be trying to get out of Hollywood Brown?
No,
because he's performing so well, and we don't know. I think he's mostly been on that left side, which I think is
that's the Hopkins side.
I think that's Nuke's side.
Get off that side.
Well, and maybe they're like
Nuke moves all over the place.
No, he does not.
He's a left side guy.
And I think maybe it's like, Nuke, you got to go over here now because you fucked up, and now maybe you go over here, or maybe they're just like, I don't know.
Nuke.
Yeah,
I'll bust your ass to get over there. You go. See, I think Hopkins.
I fear God.
Yeah, and nobody else. I think.
Remember that?
Yeah, scuffle. Yeah, hell yeah. Gets to do on Patriots, maybe.
Anyway, it was on Hard Knocks.
Maybe. It was on Hard Knocks.
Hollywood
is the guy.
God, I was never sure
right
why
the
he
fight,
kept saying
just
that.
to say I ain't scared of you. That's the only person I fear. It ain't you. It ain't you. So the
double finger guns.
Hollywood Brown is the guy that if he's not on your team, you don't respect him. Enough. You don't feel those points he's scoring. He never gets talked about. He never gets any love. You don't know that he scored 20 points the last couple of weeks.
15, 12, 20, 20, 21.
3 in a row.
20, 20, 20.
3 20s in a row.
Almost a 30 on one of those.
And you don't get that he's
and
not.
This week easily could have been a 30. He dropped a big old fucking slant coming across the middle.
Mr. Kadesh.
I don't.
He doesn't have the best hands.
Every time I turn to Brown on, he's dropping a touchdown pass. Anyway,
he gets open. He doesn't always reel him in.
I would like to see the buy window.
17 targets.
The week before, the 10 minutes before kickoff when Hopkins is back is when I'm buying Brown. Oh, Nuke Hopkins is back. Especially if Nuke Hopkins comes in there and gets a ton of targets, and like Hollywood for some reason didn't get a whole lot going that game, and it just happened to be fairly coincidental. Like the Cardinals don't have enough options for a Nuke to come back and Brown to be not getting targets.
Right.
They don't have anybody else.
I guess
anyway.
it's mostly
you
like
got Zach Ertz.
It's working from right now how they're using Hollywood, or they are all of a sudden going to move him into the slot, move him right, move him all around, or
it doesn't matter.
I mean, sometimes it does. I don't know that it necessarily matters with Hollywood, but I mean, fuck, it seems like the only production they ever get is maybe out of that one receiver on the other side. So maybe it does matter.
Collar's head looks.
All right.
Well, that's true. It shouldn't matter. it shouldn't matter if Kyler can see the field, but he can't see over anybody's head. So he
Speaking of Kyler Murray,
yeah.
I gotta try and pull up that photo.
I feel like
suit was so bad.
it's better than Joe Burrow's 2 weeks ago.
No, it was
No,
not.
he's like trying
The
to be
flower
Joe Burrow,
suit?
but
Oh boy, I'll take
Nah.
the green suit over the flower suit.
Do you think the green suit's better than the flower suit?
no way, man.
That looked like a lesbian politician.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not. But
Definitely
it's just setting the table for you.
Sure. What did the flower suit look like then?
I don't even know how.
A lesbian politician.
I got to see the Joe Burrow suit. Anyway, continue.
I think Hollywood Brown is going to be a nice little buy low or buy disrespected when Nuke can come in there and
Oh, that Joe Burrow suit is way better.
what?
Way better. I think it's like fit well. It's not like whatever. The flowers are cool. I'm down with it.
That is
That
disgusting.
double-breasted, no undershirt.
That is
just-
disgusting.
I'm okay. Like if it was
I don't hate that.
if that
I
was
couldn't
just the
wear it.
blazer, I'd be and solid pants, I'd be definitely down with that. The
But
whole
it's
thing's a
not.
bit much,
But it's not.
but Kyler's out there looking like
It looks like
Hillary Clinton just walked off Air Force One.
somebody had a good time. You know, that's the color they painted their Mustang at the drag
Got like
strip.
Puritan shoes on. Like, what is that? Puritan shoes. Anyway, so
I don't think Hollywood is a I'm not running from Hollywood. Is basically I don't see how if the Cardinals want to be run and gun, then Hollywood's gonna be just fine.
how high does Hollywood move up those ranks for you though? This night, I mean, we already had him pretty high. We had him near the Garrett Wilsons moving into this year, as Garrett Wilson being a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Would you trade Hollywood for Garrett Wilson? I would.
Got to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I need a little nudge there.
Does he move up Mike Williams?
Hollywood.
Hollywood for sure. Olave, he's been
Olave.
Olave,
Yeah.
got to be Olave.
Olave and Wilson are studs.
But you're taking Hollywood over Wilson.
No, I can take Wilson's fine.
You're taking.
Does it help
Wilson?
that them boys are matched up? They're
No.
like they came in
No.
like maybe he won't lose that many targets to Nuke. Is Nuke coming in there with a green matched
He
up?
was probably like, "Get from by me, dog." You're getting.
Give me some space. Give me some
the
space.
bell bottoms too. Everyone's got the skinny
I don't
jeans
see what's so
on.
wrong with that suit.
What? Well,
I'd wear it. I'd wear it.
That's what you should be for
I'll
Halloween.
tell you what.
Kyler fucking Murray.
I'll get
Pre-game Kyler Murray.
I'll get in that green suit before I get in that Joe Burrow suit any day of the week.
Not a chance.
Yes, sir. I'm not wearing those flowers.
I would trade Hollywood for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Or no, I would trade Garrett Wilson for Hollywood.
You would
And
give away Garrett Wilson for Hollywood.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, I'm taking Wilson.
And then
Not
Olave
this year,
Ola-
not, you know.
Well, I mean, we're talking dynasty.
yeah, I'm taking
Olave,
Wilson.
yeah, I can get down with that. A Dotson,
Hollywood.
agreed. Sky Moore,
Hollywood. I haven't
Hollywood.
seen anything out of Sky Moore to give it.
Traylon on the table right now. Would you trade it on the IR?
Hollywood.
Hollywood or Traylon?
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Probably Traylon, but Hollywood.
All right. Let's get out of that game. Let's go Niners, Panthers. Obviously, just another bad whole whatever the Carolina Panthers have going on. The whole thing just needs to just.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It's-
Coach fired. He's out of here.
I told Steve before that game started. I said if this doesn't go well,
Did say that.
Roll is fired. And
So what happened to so Baker's hurt?
Baker got hurt
High ankle sprain.
during that game and played it out. He got hurt. It was pretty early. He was limping around. So it's about to be PJ Walker. Because Darnold's hurt too.
What's wrong with Darnold?
I don't know.
He's been on IR and he's not ready for a return.
He was out doing parkour once they signed Baker Mayfield.
He doesn't
look like a parkour
kind of guy, but that's hilarious.
Darnold said, I'm good. All right.
Um,
What you thinking?
I don't know. The Carolina Panthers are pretty much a mess.
Bring your brooms.
They could be selling off everybody. DJ Moore, thoughts?
Benched.
I mean, definitely benched.
Yeah, I mean, Time to fucking panic, though, right? What do you do with this man in Dynasty?
You wait till he's got a quarterback. What was wrong with
What
him?
was wrong with Wentz?
What was wrong
Didn't
with
have-
him?
I mean, well, that's what Baker's supposed to be. Is Wentz?
Well, he's not.
well, I mean,
We've been wait. How long do you
There
have to
hasn't,
wait?
there hasn't been Baker hasn't supported a wide receiver one. I don't think his entire career.
DJ Moore got in the microphone 2 weeks ago and was like, "I can't catch the ball if you don't throw it to me."
Yeah,
Something ain't right. Well, I don't know why I'm not getting the ball.
He is an unrestricted free agent this year.
we need
Yeah.
DJ Moore's. I thought they re-signed him.
DJ Moore is a huge buy.
We need DJ Moore's.
A huge buy.
We need DJ Moore's
Woof.
dad. We need DJ Moore's dad to.
That's exactly why it's a huge buy.
No, look, the player's good.
Oh, what has he done to not be any? I mean,
Is he
the
good?
whole team's a
He,
dumpster
he's
fire.
locked up for 2 more years.
No,
They re-signed him. Yeah.
they did.
Great chance to scoop DJ Moore on the cheap.
Yeah, no, Matt suggested a buy
This is how
low.
you fucking play the
We
game.
got in a little.
Now DJ Moore.
Jay Wayne got in a dust up with some guy on
Really?
in the comments of YouTube about DJ.
I said I
Moore.
would trade DJ Moore for Traylon, and he was like, "Yikes! You really don't know what the shit you're
That's not
talking
a terrible
about."
trade. Yeah.
No, I mean that's
I said I would trade DJ
That's
Moore for
value
some
for
beans.
value.
Like if you got some, I don't even like beans. Like, let me get something for DJ Moore because
Jay Wayne's off the DJ Moore train.
I
And
can't do it because
and-
I've been on it for like 14 years now,
is
and I
not
just
how you-
can't get a return on investment. He's not outperformed his ADP literally one time ever.
That's wide receivers cannot throw themselves the ball, Jay.
well,
But I
look,
mean, how long you got to wait for him to get a quarterback?
He's not outperformed his ADP. He went
He's been
1,000.
drafted
He's
high.
been 1,000-yard receiver the first 3 years of his career. He's been drafted high in Dynasty because he was a 20-year-old wide
he's
receiver
still-
that
he's
could
still-
run.
I think he's 25 or 26.
He's 25 years old. He's been in the league 5 years. He came in like
It's like how
Amari
does he keep
Cooper
knowing how
style.
old people are, but he's got
right
it's
there.
got
I got good eyes. He's 6 foot 210. I got good eyes.
But no, I tend to mostly agree. Right now, you can't be fucking with DJ Moore, and if I could trade him for a Treylon Burks, I wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I
we got
wouldn't
no
be
problem with that. You
upset
trade-
with that.
Trade him down to the 21-year-old guy and restart the clock. And for another equally, he's a first-round receiver, Treylon Burks, a guy who's supposed to be, baby AJ Brown.
Not going to
in that
lose. I don't
spot.
think he'll lose a ton of value off of having a bad start to a season and then going on IR. Treylon Burks, that is.
No, is it like year IR or
No,
3 weeks
no,
IR?
turf toe.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks IR. Not so because sometimes you're like,
He had been putting up the metric kind of numbers that everybody likes to see, but it
Yes.
hadn't been coming to fruition just yet.
yeah,
But no, I mean, yeah, it's just been a terrible situation. He's been okay with some bad quarterbacks, and now your Matt Rule's out of there, which I actually thought the Matt Rule thing would be a good thing, but it hasn't. It's been
I did too.
absolutely awful.
I thought it was supposed to be good. I thought it was gonna be good.
So we're gonna
Could
kind of.
Would they guard fucking Travis Kelce? That's 4 goddamn touchdowns. Like
He was
just
wide open.
maybe guard Travis Kelce.
Is-
Nobody
you know?
near him.
You could try to guard Travis Kelce.
Do
This is the
they
only guy they want to throw it to. Sorry.
all of a sudden? We talk about this a lot. We don't know what Carolina is going to end up with their record, but I can't imagine it's going to be very
Not-
good.
Good.
I mean, they could potentially have the first pick
They're gonna be in the top 3.
be CJ Stroud.
They're gonna be all right.
All of a sudden, CJ Stroud comes to town. How do you feel about DJ Moore?
Still stinks.
I don't think he stinks.
I don't know. I mean,
His
I'm
points per
definitely
game has
not
gone
buying
down
him.
every year. It was like 15, 14, 13, and now they're definitely down further than they've ever been.
I get that it's
Yeah,
not his
right.
fault, but how long can you just keep saying it's not someone's fault before you fucking
Wow.
don't need to?
Do we need to? All right. So we need to lay it out for you. Cam got old. His arm fell off. His neck broke. His arm was no good. His legs were no good because he was playing like Josh Allen for a decade.
I understand it's
Do
not his
you?
fault, but is it? Like other wide receivers in the league produce without good quarterbacks. It fucking happens, and he's supposed to be this stud.
He's been producing for what has been around him. Like it's been fine enough. It's been pretty okay. It hasn't been
Pretty
like
okay.
hasn't been elite, but I mean,
But where you have to draft him.
No, but that's not true anymore. This year, he was plenty cheap enough to be okay with drafting him. Now, are you getting the return on investment this year?
No.
Certainly not.
No.
You haven't any years.
It's
My
been
point.
pretty close to around where you drafted him to your ADP. Really hasn't been that as bad as you're making it out to be. But But I agree. I could see a little buy low window here, but Jay Wayne is
No,
out,
thanks.
so that's okay. Big Co's in.
You probably can't get anything for him right now. You can't.
I mean,
sell him.
you definitely can't get anything for him. But
last year, week 1, 6 for 80. Week 2, 8 for 80.
The Sam Darnold,
8 for
those first 3 weeks
126,
for Sam
8
Darnold
for 120, bro.
were gangbusters.
Jesus Christ. You get a little bit of momentum on the team, and the Panthers have been fucking horrible.
That first 3 weeks with Sammy D, or first 4 weeks with Sammy D was.
There you go. So all of a sudden, it was DJ Moore doing all that work.
Sam Darnold got hurt then, right?
Yep. Sam Darnold blew his shoulder off, went on IR, never came back all year long, and the mixed in quarterbacks. And then Teddy Bridgewater was in town. He decides that what's his name?
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson's the best thing ever. So he peppers him with 100 receptions. So DJ Moore can only catch the balls that come his way. I'm buying the shit out of DJ Moore right now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that the hate was out. I mean, obviously the Panthers.
Well, I think that's part of his rationale is I don't think the hate really is out there, and I think and he keeps kind of getting a pass a little bit to be that he's one of the upper echelon players, whereas it's the ADP slowly been working down as well. So it's it's at least stayed somewhat where it kind of should be, and I think that's Jason's reason for being upset is like I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for him to be top billing of what was
left at the altar here.
The bill of goods that was sold to you.
I have not been winning with DJ Moore where I drafted him. He hasn't helped me win. I just don't want to. I don't hate too many players. I don't hate DJ Moore. I just don't want to deal with him anymore. I just don't want to. I don't like. I guess if you could get him cheap enough, that's as with any player. But I've been scarred. I just been.
So 2 buys, a hold, and then sell when you can.
You can't sell him.
I know that's. What
you can't get fucking anything for him.
A hold and then sell when you can.
You're never gonna be able to sell him. Maybe if you get CJ Stroud next year,
I'll buy him.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? You got some questions? Anything?
Got a bunch of questions up in here. Been trying to star them up. Haven't gotten to them. I've been slacking. Obviously, okay. So we
Josh Jacobs is good though.
2020 week 1, 4 for 50. Week 2, 8 for 120, 2 for 65, 4 for 40, 4 for 100 and a touch, 5 for 100.
Say what those numbers are. Those aren't great fantasy points. Like there was like a 10, a 12, a 8 in there, wasn't there?
8 for 120 is 20 points.
Okay.
4 for 50 is 9. 2 for 60 is 8. I get it.
8 and 9.
4 for 100 and a touch. That's 16. 5 for 100 is 15. 4 for 90 and 2 touches. Like, yeah, he's
and
spotty.
he was probably drafted as the wide receiver 6 that year.
What?
That's your fault.
2020.
Just saying.
I haven't drafted him
2020.
4 for 100 and a touch.
He wasn't
7 for 127. That's decent in my book.
I think he might have was probably the highest drafted he had been was maybe like his first or second year in the league.
Probably second year because he was supposed to be awesome. But I mean, I get what Jay's saying, but the way he's saying it and how hard he's going in is like, nobody's been good on the Panthers for 5 years except for Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy.
And DJ Moore's been good enough for some weeks. Most weeks, sometimes.
We have been dying for a wide receiver in the league that we have DJ Moore in. This is what I'm saying.
Well, for sure. I mean, and it
don't even have to start 3 of them.
That's half PPR. So everything he does gets cut in half in that league. It doesn't feel nearly as good for anybody.
Different league, but
as well.
But that started up 2 years ago, and nobody can throw
that
the ball.
one too. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Can't play DJ Moore right now.
Nope. But you can buy him.
I agree.
I'm just saying I went through and found a whole lot more games than what Jay Wayne is describing as what his output is.
Yeah, and this year it hasn't been good.
Nope.
Got to get
it ain't been that
George
good.
Pickens.
Coach just got fired. Can't be that good.
Got to get George Pickens if you can get him. I don't think you can do that. That's not even.
You can't. Yeah.
There might be a DJ Moore truther to give you Pickens for DJ Moore, and you got to take that trade all day long. You got to take Pickens.
Yeah.
Reset the clock.
Just get a handful of beans. Maybe one of them could be magic. Get rid of DJ Moore. All right, let's hammer out a couple questions here. What what do you guys value players like Khalil Herbert and Alexander Madison? Seems like they have huge potential, just stuck behind another running back. We've talked about both of those guys at various times during this.
Those are tricky guys. Those are guys that I try to get kickers in trades.
For sure.
Get them as a kicker.
Herbert's probably a little tougher right now, although Madison's usage is kind of trending
Montgomery.
up. I put Madison in every trade that I was sending out last year on a rebuilding team or any team, just to try to get Madison, because the contract's up. He's going to go somewhere, and there are some truthers, and there's going to be a swell when he moves on and goes somewhere else and gets to be the guy, most likely, or at least the 1A, because somebody's going to bring him in to be that. And then the immediate probably sell for me on Madison. Herbert is a little different, because it seems like if you have Monty, he's a nice buy for you. And if maybe you got to wait a couple weeks for Herbert to get pushed back down and then go in and try to buy a little Herbert.
Right.
Because it does seem like, I don't know that the Bears are necessarily going to pay the running back next year rather than let Monty walk and just go with Herbert.
It seems like the Bears need to clean house again. I mean, they cleaned the wide receiver room. They forgot to put more wide receivers in it. The boys were like, "Yeah, we're gonna turn it over," but then they forgot to do the over. They turned it and they didn't bring anybody else in. So
yeah,
in my eyes,
poor Mooney.
I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know. Wow! He caught that. Devontae Adams got to kick it and tie it up.
I missed this one. Dubs for DJ Moore all day, right?
Romeo Dubs for DJ Moore.
I feel like you should be getting a little something on top of Dubs for that, but I could take it. I mean, Dubs is looking good. The problem is what happens if Adams is gone, because Dubs ain't gonna look that good with Jordan. That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm looking at Devontae Adams.
He'll have another year. I mean,
can't be any worse than DJ Moore. What DJ Moore looks like.
If the Panthers don't figure out the quarterback position, they're gonna be in trouble. The Herbert, the Bears thing. It seems like the talk on the street was the Bears would be happy and be fine if Herbert was their starting running back, is what I think.
But then they're not, when Montgomery's healthy. That's not the bill of goods that they're selling you.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, well, Montgomery, because you can't, it's undeniable.
Right.
When Montgomery's healthy and on the field, he's
undeniable.
He's the best running back they got, and I don't care what the coaches want to say.
Yeah,
you can't say that he's not.
Oh, they know.
Now they may not want to give him a contract. He may move on, and now Herbert's the starter next year.
There's no reason to pay David Montgomery if you got the mess you got.
They just went for 2
and didn't get it.
Wow.
Idiots.
There's no reason to pay David Montgomery with the mess you got over in Chicago. Although the only thing they do have going on is a run game.
100% agree.
Well,
but I'm not so sure that what I
true.
started out saying is I'm not so sure if the guys that are deciding if Montgomery or Herbert should be there should even be there.
Yeah, well, it's Pole's first year, new GM.
I don't know. If you can't go into the season and say, "Hey, we got a chance at quarterback. We got a guy who's on a rookie deal, and we could have a decent defense if we catch a couple breaks. We could have a good offensive line if we catch a couple breaks. We could have a good running back if we catch a couple breaks." We don't want to do anything to try to make our rookie deal quarterback work out. We're not going to bring any wide receivers in to help.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything. We're going to literally go into the season with Darnell Mooney is the number one.
Brown and I don't even know if it would matter who's there now anyway. I don't even think it matters. Like, it's just everything. Like, pass game is so broken.
But that's exactly like that's what I mean. Like, go back and redo it and get yourself Dayball. What do the Bears look like? Right. That's all I'm saying is whoever's making decisions over there in the Bears town, I'm not sure they should be making them. And the coaches, I'm not sure they should be there. Because if you can't make Justin Fields look better than that, you shouldn't be a coach. Because look at what Dayball, you just said it earlier.
Yeah.
What Dayball's doing for the Giants makes all the other coaches look bad.
Right.
And I said it for all the times that I came on here preseason, which wasn't much, was what are the Bears doing? You got a quarterback who you took in the first round.
They didn't
early. True. They didn't do it.
There's some notions there that they don't really believe in Fields. So they're trying to get to the next year, basically.
Well, if they're trying to get a good draft pick, they're doing a great job.
I don't know.
Then they start off 2-0. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, on accident. Superb job at trying to be bad. if they want a good draft pick. They're catching up to be.
How can we know if Fields is good?
You can't with this staff and that.
It does
look better of late.
The optics aren't good when you actually watch the game. He just misses all over the fucking place. But
That's at least got it going on the ground.
well, yeah, I mean, it's
But-
like look, if you want to line up and run the shit out of the ball and then run Fields, like you could play that Eagles offensive last year, second half of the season, and be a good run team, and then run Fields around, and then make a couple of throws down the field to whomever on some broken plays. But I don't even know if they're necessarily willing to do that. All right, give me another question, and then let's hang this up.
Is Russell Wilson a buy in Superflex?
Bo, I said probably was hanging on to him and was probably maybe a buy for me, but I don't know, man. I'm just kind of fucking. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Tom Brady and DJ Moore or Russell Wilson in a second.
What are we? I'm assuming this is Superflex.
Gotta be. This is Trenton D. He's probably playing Superflex there.
You gotta
I mean,
probably take Russell.
The problem is Tom might play for 3 more years now if they really
He's not tied down at home.
If they really did split up, maybe
Well, I don't have shit to do, so
maybe he's really in it. Or maybe it's like, all right, well, that's over. Now it's January. Come home, never go back. So I mean, you gotta at least. I think you gotta take the guy who's 10 years younger.
Would you trade a
12 years younger? Tom is 45 though.
yeah.
Would you trade a
45.
second round pick for Tyler Lockett?
Not early. You can't look at the class.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a late. Got to be late.
it's got to be late. I mean, not that Tyler Lockett's not worth every penny of that. It's just, especially if he's getting quality targets from Geno. It's just it's obviously Superflex changes everything, but there's going to be 15, 16 guys that people are gaga over, and all those same second round picks this year that got drafted in startups before Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett's been putting up some numbers. 19, 16, 13, 27.
Oh, trade for him.
I think
Listen, if you got a good formula here, and you think that that you're trading away the 2 to get Lockett, and you're already a upper end team, I'm never really gonna. I mean, you just did a whole thing of saying, the first didn't really get me over the hump and didn't do anything for me. I've had times where I traded for the first and it won me the championship. I did it one year with Miles Sanders, and I traded away Will Fuller. I got Miles Sanders. I got Raheem Mostert. Now Mostert got hurt, but Miles Sanders helped me win a championship.
Sure.
And I think I got Darnell Mooney in that trade as well. And he helped me out. But a second round pick, I mean, I 100%, but if I hear what you're saying, that people are going to be gaga over that, but if you're a pretty good team and Lockett, and you can get Lockett, and there's, fucking Papa Gino's cooking, Bo.
Yeah, if you're trading away your second round pick, in my position right now, in the league I mentioned earlier where I was talking about trading, I wanted to trade Lazard, but I didn't want to trade him for too cheap because he's quality depth. I could give my late second for Lockett and just be like, let's go,
Let's try to win.
put him in.
I talked about it last week. I think that there's, almost an epidemic in Dynasty where everybody almost pushes who talks about Dynasty is like, it doesn't seem like anybody ever fucking wants to win, Bo. Like, so I feel like it's always the push for the picks and get younger and do all this and do all that. But I feel like, we're in the UDPL.
You can't trade with anybody because everybody's rebuilding.
Everybody's rebuilding always.
Yeah.
Everybody's, we're in some other, everybody's rebuilding always. And it's just like,
I gotta say, this is I'm only in my second year of one rebuild, our OG league, and my first offseason ever of starting up being like, I really don't care if I win the first year. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of fun.
I've never done it before because
I'm right there with you.
I've had bad teams and I just won't give it up because I want to win, and I've had good teams and you're like, you're not rebuilding if you're that good.
Right.
But like I've really,
some people are though.
I mean, you can't. It's kind of fun. I guess.
No,
it's fun.
It is fun.
A fair amount of money though.
To take a year and a half, a year to really dial things in, and then be like, all right, and then this next year I'm about to put this all together, and now I'm going to be making pieces to go win instead of taking pieces to go this way.
Yeah, but the problem is, I mean, the UDPL is what? It's $50.
Well, that's again, that's
like
for $250, all of a sudden,
Nobody's trying to.
I ain't got
rebuild.
time to rebuild for fucking 4 years.
Nobody's rebuilding forever for $250. That's not it. That's not happening.
I'm trying to get this done in 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm rebuilding in that same league. It's a home league. It's the first time in that league where I've gone to it's probably my oldest dynasty league. It's the first time that I've gone full on rebuild.
Yep.
And I'm right there with
you.
you.
You just started this year. Well,
last year I sold Devontae Adams at the end of last year.
I sold Kamara a year and a half ago. And started my rebuild.
And I came into this if the guys that I have on my team, if Swift and Monty and St. Brown wouldn't have got, I scored the most fucking points. I'm still trying to lose. I was not trying to win this year, but it's like I'm not going to play my good players.
You did this week, you little tanking some bitch.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I did. I called you out.
I put St. Brown in the lineup. He was worse.
Did you? Did you bench Dalton Schultz?
Yes.
You did? I didn't look back.
It wasn't any good.
It
was St. Brown scored
Schultz,
5 points.
Zero out of Schultz. Can't get a target.
I did not play Monty, but that was.
I told you he was playing.
You're
tanking.
I'm not.
I called you out for the tank. The starting lineup tank.
Montgomery exited the game, didn't play. I didn't think I had enough players to not play. I played Romeo Dubs instead of Montgomery. Is that like
fair enough?
I mean,
fair enough. Romeo Dubs been crushing. Fair enough. You got Dubs in that league?
Sure. I got Dubs in all our home leagues.
No, I got him.
Jay Wayne got him in one
of them.
Yeah.
That's just because I didn't want him.
Tight end league.
Who did I take instead of him?
I don't know. Would you trade CH, Jeff Wilson, and Elijah Mitchell for CMC and redraft? I think so.
Wait,
sure.
What?
Clyde, Jeff Wilson, Elijah Mitchell for CMC.
Trade them all for CMC.
What about Najee and Amon-Ra for JT? This is redraft. So it's basically.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll keep Amon-Ra.
Yeah,
I'm Najee.
Yeah.
In redraft?
Yeah. Fuck it.
2 starters.
Hey, Amon-Ra's probably outscoring fucking JT.
No doubt.
Sure.
He absolutely is.
Yeah. All right. I think we did it.
Yeah, let me get out of here. Let's watch the end of this game. Appreciate y'all. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Oh, we didn't pick a winner for the t-shirt. Next time.
Yeah.
Next show. We got J Mike coming up. We're going to talk about exceeding expectations and below expectations. So going to have some fun there with old J Mike on the next round of this. I think one of us is hopping on with the Shall We Football crew. Talk some more football with those guys, so check that out. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Keep tuning in the live streams. They keep growing, keep getting better. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you're listening to this on the podcast. We've already gone live with this show on YouTube, but hit me with the 5-star review on the Spotify, iTunes. Subscribe on YouTube. Send me proof. I'll put you in the contest. Enter to get a free T-shirt. If you're looking for more tailored advice, chit chat in the Discord, come over to the patreon.com/the Dynasty. $5 holla.
Once I finish this house, Patreon content about to go through the roof.
All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate you for joining us. Good to have the OG tripod back in the house. Shout out to Big Joe.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for the invite.
And we will see you soon, if not next week. Peace.